we need to talk about that huge Superman cameo and how it not only sets up the future of the DCU, but also paints a picture of how movies in this universe will work. Spoiler warning, obviously. Supergirl appears in Superman. Yes, Millie Alcock makes her first appearance, Kara Zor-El, ahead of her film being released next year. The biggest shock for most people was the fact that she showed up drunk to pick up Krypto, whom Clark was watching during the course of the movie. Kara was off partying on a planet with a red sun because Kryptonian super metabolism doesn't allow them to get drunk on Earth, and this scene left a lot of people curious, with some mischaracterizing Kara as a drunk party girl. However, those in the know realize this tees up one of Kara's most intense stories. The scene is a promise to comic readers that they're going to go all in on adapting Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. This is personally one of my favorite DC comics of all time, and easily the single best Supergirl story. The coat Kara is wearing is a direct reference, as well as the condition we find her in. She begins Woman of Tomorrow getting drunk on a red sun planet with Krypto on her 21st birthday, using a coat almost identical to the one she's wearing here to hide her identity. And this is basically where we leave her at the end of her appearance, which tees up the beginning of that story perfectly. Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow is a beautiful but dark story about grief, kindness, and the power of perseverance. It is true grit meets Star Wars, and a story that really helps to inform Kara Zor-El as a character and what makes her different from her cousin. I won't spoil any of the major events or reveals because I really feel like most people should check out the book for themselves. However, the story really does show that Kara is a damaged person who experienced the destruction of Krypton very differently from Clark, and she carries a lot of that with her. I also think this scene is important because it will show the power of the DCU's greatest storytelling weapon, tonal shifts. James Gunn stressed that each movie in the DCU will be different and have different tones. So while Kara Zor-El may look like a drunk party girl in a fun and campy Superman movie, that kind of behavior may look a lot darker under the lens of Supergirl director Craig Gillespie and the story they are trying to tell in that movie. This is very reflective of the medium it is adapting, right? It's like comic books. Supergirl would be framed a lot differently in, say, World's Finest or a Superman comic than she would be in her own starring series. And that's what's truly exciting about the DCU, right? Because if you think you know where Kara's story is heading based on that one scene in Superman, you may be surprised to find out what comes next for her.